Oh, hi there. Welcome back to this shit. Alright, so it's Saturday. I'm about ready to spend my Saturday with watching some scary animations at 6:11 p.m. What do I do with my life? Alright, this one's 8 minutes on. I'm about to, scare me. This is, oh my god. Okay, here we go. Please no ads.
How good do we work together using Monday.com?
Oh my god, it's Monday.com. Grab your Monday. Here.
This good.
Except for Saturday.
This story takes place
Alright,
when
here
I
we
was
go.
a junior high school student.
Here we go. Bad animation
One morning
already.
during summer vacation, after my father went to work, my mother and I decided to visit my maternal grandmother, who lived in a rural area. Since my grandmother's house was located in the
Oh, it's a
countryside,
grandmother story.
getting
Yay.
there required making a left turn, then
Left.
driving for 5 minutes.
Always
through a
go
narrow,
right. Go
one
right.
car wide, unpaved road. There were rice fields and forest on the sides of the unpaved road. As soon as we arrived, I greeted my grandmother, then went into my youngest uncle's room.
Ran into his uncle.
I used to like visiting my grandmother's house because my uncle was a huge gaming fan and his computer
Oh,
was
yeah.
much better than mine at home.
Oh yeah, that's the
So
thing
once
I
I
want.
confirmed my uncle was at work, I turned on his computer and started playing Doom 3, which used to be the most popular game once upon a time.
Oh yes.
After playing the game for about an hour or two, my uncle returned from work. Upon his arrival, my
Oh.
grandmother asked him to take her grocery shopping, since my mother, my
Great.
aunt, and I were visiting her house.
I want to see this.
So at about 7 p.m., they all drove to town to do some grocery shopping. I was super excited
Oh,
and
boy.
waved goodbye to them.
Oh boy.
Since I think it is unnecessary to explain why I was excited, I'll just leave it. After enjoying about 90 minutes of free time, my uncle called. He said he was about to turn left on the road, but one of the front wheels was punctured, and asked me to bring him a new tire which was in the storage shed. As I said before, after making that left turn, it took about 5 minutes to drive through a narrow, unpaved single-lane road to see my grandmother's house, but it took about 20 to 30 minutes
Okay.
on foot.
I don't trust this.
Now that I think about it, it was quite scary to walk on that road, especially at night. It had no streetlights and was surrounded by rice fields and forest.
Rice fields.
It was almost 9 p.m., and that area got quite dark at about 8 because it was in the country. So to be honest,
Here's
I was
the
really
shit
scared.
starts to happen.
but not wanting anyone to know I was a coward, I decided to go. I grabbed the tire, left the house, and started walking along the unpaved road. I could see my uncle shining his car's headlights toward me. That said, he was still quite far away from me, and the headlights looked like two big yellow dots. I was a bit relieved knowing my uncle and family were on the other end of this road, but the night was dark, which deepened my fear.
Okay.
You know, when you walk in the darkness, your eyes adjust, and you start to see unclear shapes. I felt like I could see someone
yeah.
standing in the rice field, and someone sitting down, resting his chin on his hands, and looking at me through the bushes.
Great.
I broke out in a cold sweat and held my legs
What is
to
this?
keep them from shaking.
Okay.
It felt scarier than being alone on a pitch dark night, and because of the
Is
fear
this
and
just
the
a-
delusion I had created, I remember feeling really dizzy.
Alright.
After walking for about 20 minutes, I looked towards my uncle's car and realized I was nearly there. Feeling happier, I rolled the tire faster. I rushed to hand over the tire to him as soon as possible, but saw something in front of me. I wasn't sure what it was because it was still a bit away from me, but it was something dark. Suddenly, I felt strange and slowed down. Since I wanted to determine what
Okay.
it was while still having some distance, I strained my head and neck, trying to look carefully, but it was too dark. Although I was scared, I started to walk again, thinking, nothing is going to happen because I have my uncle and family about 300 meters away. But when I got closer to it, I stopped because it became clearly visible. It was an old woman squatting with her mouth open, looking at the rice fields. I could only see the side of her face, but my whole body
Is
shivered
this true?
because her blank facial expression with her mouth open
Okay.
was now clearly visible in the darkness. Without realizing it, I walked really close to the old woman
Why?
for reasons I don't understand. Walking by without saying anything seemed even scarier, so I started talking to her. With a frightened voice, I asked, "Excuse me, what are you doing here at night?" But she did not respond and kept looking at the rice field.
Shove the tire.
On the verge of crying, I shouted, "Excuse me!" She then looked at me, and I felt my heart tightening. Even though it
Okay.
was dark, I could clearly see she had permed white hair, and I could only see the white parts of her eyes. The scariest thing were the huge wrinkles and stains covering her face and her wide open mouth.
Num.
I felt strange, like I was going crazy while looking at her. I had eye contact, but was looking down while she was looking up at me. After a few moments of eye contact, she turned her body toward me. Oh my gosh, I thought she was sitting down, but realized she had no lower body. She only had a torso and head which was supported from the ground with 2 arms. A flood of thoughts crossed my mind, but I remember thinking, there is Satan right in front of me.
There is Satan.
I felt like she
Right
was
in
going to
front
run
of
into
me.
me with her 2 arms if I didn't move, so I grabbed the tire in my arms and sprinted with my eyes closed tightly. Without remembering how long I'd been running, I suddenly felt relieved. It was the next morning, and I was in my grandmother's room. When I asked my mother what happened, she said she was waiting for me in the car and saw me sprinting with my head down, holding the tire in my arms, and suddenly fell off the road, causing my family to come out of the car shocked. After listening to my mother, I told her and my other family members what I went through. Thinking I had suffered a heat stroke, that evening my grandmother made me chicken soup. My uncle told me to stop playing horror games and wouldn't let me play Doom 3 anymore. From then on, I could only play a Star Wars racing game while
Star
staying
Wars.
at my grandmother's house. I still believe it was not a ghost that I saw that day.
Wee woo.
It was just an illusion caused by my mental weakness.
Alright. Alright, was that a joke? Why? Alright, if I have a nightmare on this, I'm pathetic. I am a sad child. I will be the saddest child of them all. Okay? Like... I know... I know it's heat stroke, but I mean... It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. Jesus. Oh, wow, okay. Alright. Well, just, okay. Well, that was the video. I hope you liked it. Please unsubscribe from me. No, subscribe for me because I need friends. And anyways, go frickin' dislike this video. And I'll see you later. Discord and description as always. Subscribe to PewDiePie, whatever. Alright. Bye.